Hey guys, this is Isabella Illustrations here and welcome to a new video. So today's video is going to be something I haven't done ever, but I'm doing it now because I'm desperate. So this is going to be a video of me just talking to you guys about the Shadow and Bone cancellation and why I think it should be saved, and I just want to talk about what's being done to save it as well, to make people more aware, because I don't know if everyone's aware that there's lots of stuff going on right now to save the show, which is really amazing. This fandom is amazing. I love these people. They're not quitting, and I decided neither am I until the bitter end. And yeah, so I thought I'd make a video about this because it is a topic that is very close to my heart. The show is just so close to my heart, and I want to do everything I can to save it. So, trying to raise awareness of the campaign to save the show. So, without further ado, let's get to the video. Okay, so first I'd like to talk about why I think most of the fandom wants to save the show. And I think it's basically like every other show, you know, you get so attached to these characters and their stories, and you just get so invested, and it's just so painful to see these stories just not finished and these characters not getting the endings that they deserve, especially after all they've been through and all the pain. And it's just like, it's just giving a lot of us in the fandom, including me, a lot of pain, not seeing everything turn out the way it's like what is the ending? Because they've changed the show ending from how the books ended. So we don't necessarily know what happens to these characters. So it's kind of like left completely unfinished, and it just feels like we have no conclusion. And that is the hardest thing for a fandom, for anyone who's invested in a show and characters. It's the hardest thing to not see these stories finished and not see these characters get the rightful ending that they deserve. And that's why I think that we're working so hard to save this show, because these characters deserve to have their stories told, and us as people who have invested our time and energy into loving this show just deserve to have see our characters end up in a place that is just somewhat happy. So that's why I think that this show, why we want to save it so much. I want to get to the reasons why it was canceled. So I did some research, and there were two reasons, and I have them written on my iPad, so I will be reading from my notes. So one reason it was canceled was because apparently it didn't quite reach the viewing heights of the previous season, which that is true, but not to a major extent that it would require canceling. I've found the numbers, which I will put up here on the screen probably. I'll put up a picture of the streaming numbers from season 1 to season 2. And the numbers aren't that different. But some of them are low in certain aspects, but the viewership didn't drop so drastically that they needed to cancel the show. So it just doesn't make sense to me why they did that. I mean, out of all the shows that they canceled in that batch, Shadow and Bone was the most popular one, and it made no sense for them to cancel that show. Also, it was because of also season 2's somewhat rocky writing and storytelling, because of the Crows characters and them taking up a majority of the storyline in season 2. And the fault of that lies at Netflix, because they were the ones who told the showrunner that they wanted more crows because they saw the crows were very popular. So they wanted more crows, and we got more crows. But in the end, it just diminished the quality of the show. It's called Shadow and Bone. It's meant to be based mostly on Alina's story, and it did get a bit sidetracked in season 2, which I understand. But that's not a reason to cancel a show either. Just because the writing was a bit choppier this time around doesn't mean it wasn't a really great season and I still enjoyed it. It was a bit lackluster compared to season 1, and we got less of the like content we could have had with Alina and the rest of the characters from Shadow and Bone, but that's not a reason to cancel a show. Okay, so next thing I want to make you guys aware of is there is a petition, which I will put in the description box below, that you can go sign on change.org. The petition to save Shadow and Bone has reached like so many freaking signatures, it's insane. And we've only been canceled like 2 months tomorrow, which is insane. It feels just like yesterday I heard this distressing news that the show got canceled, and I was crushed when I heard that news. I hope you guys could sign the petition if you love the show as much as I do and want it to have a chance at being saved. Please go sign the petition. It would really mean a lot. And yeah, so many people have signed it already, but still, we gotta keep going. We gotta keep showing Netflix that we will not stop. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is if you want to go even further to helping us get Shadow and Bone revived, there is a Discord server, which I will put as well in the description box, and all the info about all of the different projects that are being done to try and save the show are all there. So if you want to do even more than just sign the petition, there's so much other stuff you guys can do. So if you want to, please go join the Discord server. We do all kinds of different things on the server. There was a watch party we did recently, which just finished, and that we do watch parties every once in a while, which are really fun. We get to do tweeting parties during the episodes and the watch parties, which is very fun to just talk with different fans and all of that jazz. And there's also different other stuff, like they do social media promo posts. They're doing a Dear Netflix thing. Anyway, all of the information will be there. So if you guys want to do other things to help us save the show, please go to the Discord server. All the information is there. So the last thing I want to talk about is I want to compare Shadow and Bone's situation with us trying to save the show and compare it to Warrior Nun and what that fandom did to save their show, because it's very similar in that regard. Because Warrior Nun definitely showed what a fandom can do, and I think that is a great example and a great way, like a great inspiration to us in the Shadow and Bone fandom to be doing what we're doing, following the same example, because it was so successful and it worked, the campaign to save Warrior Nun. So basically what they did was for 11 months, they were basically campaigning, doing all kinds of different activities, and it's only been 2 months since Shadow and Bone's cancellation, so there's still time to save it. So that gives me a bit of hope. Anyway, so Warrior Nun's fans basically had mounted one of the most extensive and persistent and organized campaigns to save the show in television history. And what they did is basically the inspiration to what we're doing in the Shadow and Bone fandom. We're trying to do what they did and save the show that we love so much. Another thing that was part of this campaign was they did a change.org petition as well to renew the show, and it only got 124,000 signatures in 11 months. Shadow and Bone's petition in 2 months is almost at 200,000 signatures. Are you telling me there's not a viewership for this? They have more signatures than Warrior Nun, and it got saved. This should be proof and evidence enough that this fandom is growing. It's still growing. There's still people freaking signing the petition every single day. And I believe that this show can be saved. I'm pouring all my hope into this because it really means a lot to me. And these characters really mean a lot to me. I've been invested in shows before, but these characters are just so near and dear to my heart, and they don't deserve to be left in the dark like this. So if you guys can, please sign the petition. If you also can, please watch Shadow and Bone on Netflix. Give it viewership. Netflix looks at numbers, and yeah, that's all I've got to say about the matter. Hopefully this video makes some sort of difference, but I have no idea. If you guys have anything to say about the Shadow and Bone situation, please comment down below. I'd be happy to discuss this with you guys. So thank you guys for watching this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one.